What's good, my peoples, and let me talk about the relationship between Alistair and Vox, because I never got the time to break it down. I don't see them as two different sides of the same coin. I see them as opposite sides of two different coins entirely. Like, we learned from both their backstories that Vox was a man who did not like to get outshone and saw killing motherfuckers as his way to go up in the world. And after killing someone, he'd immediately steal their swag and their job. He did this with almost every TV form of media you could think of. He went from Guppy to the shark he's always wanted to be. And through all of this, he gained influence and followers to the point where it became a cult. He died with his followers and brought them to hell with him. And when he got to hell, rinse and repeat as an overlord. Alistair was not the same. That man used his own charisma and talents to get by in terms of entertainment. Keep in mind, none of this was from a place of privilege like when it came to Vox. As far as we can tell, he only really killed anybody that disrespected the shit out of him. But regardless, he was still a murderer and cannibal at the end of the day. He knew he was going to hell and made a deal to secure his power before he even got through the door. I wouldn't call Alistair a hypocrite because he got all his power through one deal and one deal alone, and with only his soul on the line, not anyone else's. But the one thing he hates more than a motherfucker is people having control over him, which is what this deal put him through. But the deal still made him the most powerful sinner in hell by far, to the point where even a nerfed and injured Alistair can still put hands on Vox. Now, when the two basically became acquaintances, this is one of the few times where Vox actually let his guard down and actually genuinely wanted to be with somebody. Because it's clear that he truly did admire Alistair for who he was, and it was actually willing to share the spotlight with him. Now, Alistair's the ultimate asshole when it comes to this because he does not understand relationships that aren't transactional, and that's what he mainly sees this as. So to him, that shit is ridiculous, especially in a place like hell. The only deep relationship he probably had was with his mama, and that was it. And because of all this shit, now they have the most bitter ex relationship I've ever seen in my fucking life. Vox's own ambitions to be at the top of the food chain mean absolutely nothing if it does not affect Alistair in some way, shape, or form because he cared about him that much. And that's on top of his god complex not allowing anyone else to outshine him or not be seen by anybody. Meanwhile, while Alistair doesn't like Vox, he doesn't let hating him be his entire existence at some points. He'll give him the exact amount of attention he deserves, and that's it. Now, the main difference between the two that really puts a wedge in their relationship is the fact that Vox constantly needs motherfuckers but acts like he doesn't, while Alistair's more for taking things into his own hands. Alistair will put himself through the absolute worst conditions just to make sure he comes out on top in the end, including being put in a cuck chair. And even in that chair, Alistair had more of an effect on Vox than the other way around. Vox will not do the same unless he has backing. But at the end of the day, this is a tale of two monsters, one of mud and blood, and one who's a parasite whose hunger's too great. One knows he's a monster, the other thinks he's a god. Both can be powerful in their own right, but only one of them has actual legs to stand on. But at the end of the day, they're still both monsters and don't deserve sympathy from everybody, in my opinion. But that's just me though. What do y'all think?